Is the first pick the best pick in a 10-team fantasy football league? It can be, but not because the draft becomes easy. The advantage is obvious. Nobody can take your top-ranked player. The cost is just as real. After 101, 18 selections disappear before you control the 210 and 301 turn. So the best player access comes with less flexibility and less information. In this blueprint, I will show you how to select from the elite tier, build 2-player plans for picks 20 and 21, and decide whether the first seed actually fits your league. These examples assume 10 teams, 1 quarterback, full PPR, 2 running backs, 2 receivers, 1 tight end, and 1 flex. In full PPR, receiving volume protects both elite backs and target-dominant receivers. In half PPR or non-PPR, rushing volume and touchdown equity gain weight. In 3 receiver leagues, wide receiver depth matters more. In Superflex, this entire board changes because quarterbacks move to the front. Match sleeper to your exact roster and scoring before you mock. The first pick is only the best pick when your rankings reflect the league you're actually drafting. Here is the geometry. You draft first overall. Picks 2 through 19 happen before your return at pick 20, and then you select again at 21. After that, your turns are 40 and 41, 60 and 61, and so on. The first decision stands alone. Every later decision is a pair followed by an 18 selection weight. That means the 101 should anchor a plan, not lock you into a position sequence. Before pick 20, identify 2 positions you can pair and forecast which tier is most likely to disappear before pick 40. Current 10-team PPR rooms do not treat 101 as a unanimous name. Fantasy Football Calculator data from 40404060 mocks puts Jahmyr Gibbs at 1.6, Bijan Robinson at 2.0, Puka Nacua at 2.7, and Jamar Chase at 3.9. Fantasy Pros calls the top 5 fairly interchangeable and identifies Gibbs as its format-specific first choice. Use that as market context, not a command. Build your own elite tier, check late camp news, and take the player whose workload, health, and scoring fit give you the strongest ceiling. An elite running back gives you the cleanest default. Gibbs or Bijan can support a hero RB start, letting picks 20 and 21 attack receiver value. Fantasy Pros highlights Gibbs' receiving ceiling and Bijan's expanded opportunity, while still telling drafters to monitor backfield roles. An elite receiver can also be correct, especially in full PPR with 3 starting receivers. Chase brings target dominance, while other wideouts may lead your personal projection. The rule is simple. Do not draft consensus as a trophy. Draft the top player you're scoring, then let the next turn solve the roster around that anchor. Picks 20 and 21 decide whether 101 becomes an advantage. Current ADP places Omarion Hampton around 20, Chris Olave around 20.2, George Pickens around 21.3, and Nico Collins around 23.1. If you open with an elite back, 2 receivers can create a strong hero RB core. If you open with the receiver, pair the best running back tier with the best remaining value. Double running back can work when 2 bankable workloads fall, but only with the receiver plan for picks 40 and 41. Draft the closing tier first, then complete the pair. There are 3 clean openings. Elite running back, then receiver is my full PPR default when the wideout tier cooperates. Elite running back, then running back receiver works if a second workload falls, but it creates pressure to attack receiver at 41-41. Elite receiver, then running back receiver gives you balance through 3 rounds. Fantasy Pros warns that starting with 2 running backs can leave the receiver room chasing depth. That does not make the build wrong. It means your next turn must repair it. Never force a formation before the board tells you which tier is closing. Do not spend picks 20 and 21 on comfort. 10-team leagues usually preserve more replacement value at quarterback and tight end. An elite option can be correct when the weekly edge is real and the running back and receiver tiers stay deep. But do not react to an early quarterback run or fill a position just because the roster box is empty. Your first 3 picks should maximize points and structural flexibility. If a quarterback or tight end costs you the final dependable receiver or running back in a tier, wait. Pay for an advantage, not for relief from uncertainty. Here is one hypothetical structure. At 101, Jahmyr Gibbs anchors running back. At 210, Chris Olave supplies receiver volume. At 301, George Pickens adds another ceiling outcome. At 410, take the strongest remaining running back tier. At 501, Add the best running back or receiver for flex depth. At the 6-7 turn, quarterback or tight end becomes possible only if the value is clear. The names will move with camp news and your draft room. The structure is the lesson. 1 elite anchor, 2 coordinated picks at every turn, and no positional panic. So, is the first pick the best pick? It gives you the best access to the elite tier, but it is not automatically the easiest or most flexible draft seat. It becomes the best pick when you trust your top tier, plan the 18 selection gap, and treat 20 and 21 as one decision. In full PPR, an elite receiving back followed by strong receiver value is the clean default. But elite receiver, balanced, or double running back paths can all win when the tiers justify them. Mock twice in Sleeper, refresh ADP, and news on draft day, and subscribe to Fantasy Foot Blueprint for strategy built for the clock.